In my mind, I'd never thought about old people and children and sex, or anything wild like that.
Wait.
So I remember seeing it and be like, oh, this is fucking hilarious. But I remember seeing it and be like, what a crazy idea. Like, everybody is naked, and so like life is naked. This is just it's almost like an art. Like this is how people, it's like this is when they're old and this is when they're young and these guys are, watching TV or whatever, I thought. So I sent it to everybody I knew. I was like, guys, this is so silly. And dude, I remember like 2 years later running into an ex-girlfriend and she goes, well, what have you been up to with your life, right? She goes, yeah, well, nobody will forget that time that you sent that picture of 2 old men and a naked kid to everybody. They buy it every time.
First time my buddy got some trim, right? We were at this dance, and my buddy ended up, touching this gal's vagina after the dance. And we all were sitting around this fire at his house later, and so he's like, telling everybody what happened. And my buddy's dad came out, right, and heard it, and kept smelling my buddy's fingers. Them always standing out by the fire, dude, for probably like 40 minutes.
Dude, the tough part, though, I got real lean calves, because a lot of my family, my great-grandfather didn't even have legs, so you got to expect that, I'm going to have lean calves. We're just still sprouting them out,
You're still working on the family lineage of
Dude,
having
it'll be
legs.
another 3 generations before we got some fucking, beefy low pieces in our genes.
How far is the gym, though, on the bird?
It's 1 mile.
Okay.
But it's nice, man. I roll up fast on it now. And I started breaking real hard right when I get there.
I remember a couple lesbians brought me back to their apartment. And I ended up stealing a sex toy out of there because I got a little bit keyed up on some cocaine and got nervous, but you could have fun.
I used to steal chicks' panties.
This was an injured athlete. They're raising money all year. They finally get him a dog. He got paraplegia. They finally get him a dog and a motorized wheelchair. The dog pulls the cord out of the wall and he dies. They've been fundraising all year to get this man this stuff.
And the dog was not trained well enough.
And
Decided
the
to chew on
dog.
the goddamn.
Do you think there's more porn stars or murderers in the world? I think murderers. I actually know a guy, probably shouldn't say this on here, but I'm not going to say names, but I know a guy who killed someone. And he said, and this isn't me saying this, dude, I wouldn't do something like this. But he said that it fucking feels good.
And then you go, you want some elk sausage?
Right.
That's his move.
You can, but
Right.
you can.
And then you just write elk on your own dick and come back in the room. That's a fucking move right
Boss
there.
move. You didn't think about that.
You're right. I didn't think about that.
Huh? You should have brought your brain.
Come on, bro.
I like cocaine because it makes me feel exactly how I want to immediately. Like having a beer, it's like, hey, I got to talk to Patrick or Ricky. You know what I'm saying? If I have cocaine, dude, I get to go home, fucking hold on to my fucking wiener and be scared. And
Wait, what?
yeah, that's what you do, dude. If you're doing a bunch of cocaine at your house, you hold on to your fucking wiener and you be scared. And then you hope that you'll live, but you don't know if you will.
Like any Native American's car, you always find gin and femurs or something. They keep the dead with them a lot of times. I unfortunately almost knocked this young lady up that was from South Dakota. And she lived on a reservation, yeah.
Oh.
And she like threatened to have the baby.
Oh, damn. How old were you?
37 this year. It was this year. And she wouldn't even be cool. She threatened to have the baby, dude. And I just met her at a motel. And she threatened to have a baby, man. And so that's.
But the thing that happened was this Mexican kid moved in named Nick, right? And the first thing he ever said in class, the man was, in science, they also taught you sex ed, right? So, like the first day this kid, Nick, was in there, it was during the sex ed part, and he stands up and he goes, what does pop that cherry mean? That's what he said, dude. He asked the fucking teacher, like, as serious as could be, he's like, what does pop that cherry mean? The first wigger I ever met was from our town, bro. I think the first wigger ever, man. This kid named Brian St. Peter.
Yeah.
Wow, who's that guy?
You make
Oh,
them.
I'll be out there doing jumping jacks. I don't give a damn. It's for me. You got to really be somebody special if I'm going to come at your house.
People, you got to tie them up. Don't fight a meth person. Yeah, a woman on meth, I think, is going to be a real. And some of them are kind of hot, bro.
She was working. What was your last-
So I'm like on the moon, I'm out there on the moon. And I mean, stunning.
You
Like
sure it's
kind
not
of.
coffee, though? It's not a lot of maybe espresso shots.
Yeah, she was. Somebody's gonna take advantage of her, or somebody's gonna
So
like.
did you take her out?
Yeah. So anyway, I think meth is. There's some hotties out there.
But I also remember, because where I'm from, if you see two mentals hugging, you call the cops on them.
Would you rather have a dog's personality in a cat body or a cat's personality in a dog body? I'm not sure exactly, but I don't want to be a cat at all. So whatever one of these is not being a cat, you know?
But see, that's the thing. You would have the dog body, but the brain of a cat. So you kind of are a cat. But then the other way, you'd have the body of a cat. Everyone would think you're a cat. So would you rather know you're a cat or have other people think you're a cat?